Well, welcome to the Christy Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Hey, high achievers. So today we are ditching the old school idea of retirement, and we're going to dive into a new word. It's called preferment. Yep, preferment. That's my new word. I'm going to fill you in on it. And that is your ticket to a life that's all about you doing what you love. And if you've ever thought, why stop now? What does retirement look like? Or like that kind of freaks you out. This episode is for you. So let me help you unlock the secrets to living life on your own terms and enjoying work that really lights you up and create a life that keeps you thriving. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to the podcast this week. Really excited to jump into today's topic. I'm going to teach you about a word called preferment. It's about embracing a life that, yeah, you guessed it, that you prefer. I'm going to take you through some talking points on what that means, what that looks like. And I'm also going to tell you the story on how I learned about this word, preferment. All right. So join me, settle in for this quick episode. And so let me just start by saying, if you've been around, you may already know this. If this is like the first time you're landing on my podcast, then I'll just fill you in just a little bit. But so I'm a high performance coach and speaker, and I'm 54 years old right now. And I have a 27-year history professionally in multifamily housing. And I've been a business owner for I guess it's going on 23 years now. And so I've rebuilt my life from the ground up. If you want to know my whole story, go to my website, christyjones.org. You can go to the About Me link and you can learn a little bit more about me. But, I've literally recreated my life, business, personal, the whole thing. And I'm huge on success and fulfillment. And I believe that those two things can coexist together. And that's a huge value system. And you hear me talk about it a lot in whether it's my social media post, whether it's here on the podcast. So you hear that a lot come out of my mouth. But today, I want to talk about this word preferment. And so my husband, there's a story behind how I learned like I've never heard this word before, a life of preferment. But let me tell you the quick story on how this even came up. So my husband's on a flight recently, and he sits next to a woman who I think she was 79 years old, and she was vibrant and gorgeous and smart and so nice. And the reason they ended up talking is you ever have those flights that like everything goes wrong? There was a flight delay, and then there was a mechanical issue, and then there was an equipment change, and then there was a gate change. Okay, you get my drift, right? So you're basically with this group of people that you end up spending hours and hours with, and you didn't plan on doing that. So that was the case. So, anyways, so in their conversations, I think he had asked, are you retired? And she says, no, I live a life of preferment. And he obviously knew he's like, I got to tell my wife about this because she's going to love this. And so anyway, she shared some of her story of what she's doing, where she's at in life, what's going on. And it's just absolutely amazing. I know, like, if I was sitting next to her, I would love her, like, absolutely love her. Like, this woman's got it going on. And we had some similarities as far as her story with her husband. They worked, can you hear the train? Sorry about the train. I'm in my home in San Diego. So sometimes that comes through. And if you didn't know, I've been here in San Diego and Carlsbad for about 10 years now. I split my time between Oklahoma and San Diego. It goes back to that life preferment, which I'll be talking about today. But anyway, so yeah, so there were some similarities that he had noticed. She and her husband both had professionally worked together, built business together. I mean, that's a unique thing. If but that type of partnership to where you are professionally like on the same path, building companies, doing the thing. They also had the same age difference as my husband and I. They had a 14-year age difference. And so some of those different similarities and some of the family things and the kids and whatnot. So they had some things to talk about. But one of the things that he had told me is that it was he's like, she lives a life of preferment. And I'm like, ooh, I love that word. So I decided I'm going to take that word. And I decided I'm going to make that word sometimes you adopt new things into your life. I'm like that. I'm all about that. I love that word. So today I want to talk about what I feel the life of preferment is, not the life of retirement. So, anyways, if you want to know more about like my backstory, you can just go to my website. And if you're curious, if you're not, that's cool too. But I'm just going to kind of start from this point forward because I don't want to have to share a bunch of the backstory again. So, in the life of preferment versus life of retirement, because I'm 54, right? A lot of times, and I've been very fortunate that I'm trying to think what year it was. So I would say, by the time I'm in my mid 40s, I have a lot of options and have worked very hard, have experienced a lot of success and have rebuilt, have a fulfilling life, a family life. My husband and I, our kids, and now grandkids, and all the things. And so, like I said, I've been in multifamily housing forever and a day and loved it. But I kind of got to that point, which I was very fortunate to go, what do I want to do next? Like retirement wasn't, and I would have been, late, mid 40s. And I didn't really know, so I just kept doing what I was doing. And then by the time I was 50, 51, I ended up in the space where I'm at now as a high performance coach and a speaker. And that's what I wanted to do next. I still wanted, had the other and loved that, but I was ready for what was next, not retirement. And so a lot of times when I hear people talk about retirement, or I witness how they're experiencing, I guess I'll say, retirement. It doesn't look fulfilling. It's not my thing. I will say that. And so I'm like, that doesn't, I mean, it just doesn't look, I like challenges and there's not a lot that's drawing me to that. And so when I heard this term preferment, and then the way she described it to my husband, she goes, I do what I prefer. I mean, she's worked a lot of years. She has had immense success, and she still is very active and has other endeavors that she does, but she does what she prefers. And I was like, I love that word. So I am stealing that and we're going to borrow that. And I'm so glad that they met to give me this whole like epiphany of like, oh my God, this is it. I love it. So when I define preferment, I'm going to define that in a way that it really means living life on your own terms, doing what you prefer to do rather than following some traditional retirement path, whatever that is. But I know what I see. And so that's just not me. It's just not me. And I can't fit myself in this box. Like, I enjoy working. I'm really passionate. I like to do things. And I like to do work things. I like to do things outside of work. But like, I the traditional retirement path does not resonate with me. And maybe that's you too. So that's why I want to do this episode. Or if you're like, I'm not quite there, I'm not at that point where I feel like I could live a life of preferment, but that's your goal, then keep that your goal, right? We got to keep working towards our goals. But if that's you, then consider this new thought process of a life of preferment versus retirement. A lot of times when I hear retirement and what I see happen is like, it's that point of like kind of just giving up, meaning giving up, going like, I'm done. I don't have to do anything. I just kind of like, it's almost like go to pasture is the term I want to use. And that just seems so, I don't even know what word to use. It's just not appealing to me. Um, Days of just like, even just doing not much of anything, that's cool for those that love that. But that just like gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, that's just not me. So I love this new term of a life of preferment, living life on your own terms, doing what you prefer rather than a traditional retirement path. So let me talk about this, and it might be something that you want to adopt for yourself and or explore for yourself and see where it takes you. So transitioning from retirement to preferment. So let's say you're kind of like already there, like me, and um, but you're maybe really not like you're really not pleased with this time of life of like this retirement phase that you're working into. And it's not all that you thought it was going to be. Maybe let's talk about shifting your mindset a little bit to a life of preferment. It's really about how you can go from that traditional idea of retirement as a time to a lot of times people describe it as a time to slow down, a time to, yeah, do what you want to do, but slow down. I get that, but you got to make sure that you're still like enjoying your time and doing the things that light you up. And sometimes I find that a lot of people like kind of lose their enthusiasm for life or what's next. So instead of looking at it as just a period of time to slow down, look at it as a time to have freedom and fulfillment and new challenges, to start something new. I mean, that's absolutely an option as well. So my third point would be don't shy away from embracing new passions. I want to encourage you to explore new interests, new friendships. Yeah, new friendships. Find ways to meet other people. Is there a new hobby that you want to do? Is there a business that you want to start? Maybe you've already built a business, but what about building another business? That's something for me I've loved doing this work. I started, well, first I started in the online space, and then I started in the coaching space, and then the speaking, and then I started a podcast. I'm in year 3 of doing this podcast, and I freaking love it. It is so fun for me to create something new. So why not create another business? I mean, I think a lot of times, here's another thing I want to talk about when retirement versus preferment, a life of preferment, is a lot of times people are think that at a certain age you're done, or that I'm too old to do XYZ. I'm too old to start something new. I'm too old to create another business. I'm too old to, I'm like, says who? I mean, I actually look at it like you have, and I throw myself in this category, so much experience. You've probably already built a business. So you've already gone through a lot of the teaching points where you learned things and had the ups, had the downs, had the successes, had the failures. Like, you bring all of that with you. Okay, so what an awesome launching pad to start from, to do something else. So if you have something else that you're wanting to do, create a business that you want to build, look at the time frame that we actually can live well in this modern age. I mean, seriously, not just stay alive and suck in air. I'm talking live well. We have so many options at our disposal. We know so much more. We know how to take good care of ourselves. We know we need to put muscle on our body. We know we need to eat good food. We know so much information that not only are we going to live longer, but we are going to live longer feeling really good and having so much energy and so much enthusiasm and all the things. So with that, when I look at it, I'm like, I'm only 54. I've got so much time. what in the world am I going to do with the next 50 years, right? I want to create. I want to contribute. I want to help others. I want to give others a platform. If I can build a business, why not help other people make money? Like, seriously, that's exciting to me. So I would never waste this time or the gifts or the blessings or the experiences that I've been able to have, like the experiences that I've been able to have. And you have your own list of experiences that you've gone through in your life, right? So use those to your advantage. Like those can help so many people. That can be a launching pad maybe to your next project. So embrace new things. And maybe there's things that you wanted to do or create that you just didn't have the time to do, maybe while you were raising your family and working and doing all the things. And now you have more time to do that. So that falls in that life of preferment. Um, I just get really excited when I hear that word. So that's my new word. That is my word. I love it. I'm going with it. And I'm so glad that they met and they had this little conversation that I can like kind of launch off of that, use that as my launching pad because I'm all about it. Number four would be to maintain your purpose and your meaning in your life. And let's talk about how preferment allows you to continue contributing, to continue learning and continuing to stay active in your community, in your business, in professionally, personally, all the things. It allows you to continue that purpose and meaning in your life. So this isn't about retirement, like I'm checking out. I mean, and if you want to, that's cool. Do that. You do. I'm all about you do you. I am having this conversation for the person that goes, I can't imagine. Like that just doesn't resonate with me. You know, I don't want to be I don't know. I don't know how to even describe it. Like I just don't want to be hanging out and I mean, I hope this doesn't offend anybody and it probably will. That's okay. I mean, you can take it or leave it, but I'm not going to be hanging out in a recliner waiting for whatever game show to come on TV. And I'm not. That does not ignite me or excite me. But if it excites you, then I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I want that for you. But this message is for if you feel like I do, then let's lean into this life of preferment versus go into pasture. And I think a lot of, especially women that hear this, you can probably totally relate to this because you'll go through this potentially, like you might go through this phase where you feel unseen, unheard, and all the things. And I'm like, oh, heck no. No, 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 no. Please don't feel that way. This is completely a fantastic time to shine, to be heard, to live your life fully. So do not shrink back. Don't think that it doesn't matter. It totally matters. So lean into a life of preferment. If you're younger and you're hearing this and you're like, huh, be thinking, how do I build my life so I can have that life of preferment someday? Because I'm going to tell you, it's really nice. It's really nice. I'm not going to sit here and say it's horrible. It's very nice. It's very nice to wake up excited about the day and excited about what you have in front of you and ready to take on new problems, new challenges, all the things. It's a really fun way to live. I enjoy it. So if you're like, I want something like that when I'm older, set your goals, work hard, know what it's going to take, know the sacrifices, be willing to show up, do all the things. Know that success and fulfillment can coexist. One of the last things I want to talk about is, well, I kind of have been sharing about it, but why the preferment, why it really resonates with me and how without knowing it and not having that word to put to it, but that's what I have embraced in my own life. So if you have an opportunity to where you get to embrace a life that you prefer and you have the choice to do that, you can live life on your own terms. You can enjoy the work that you do. You can do work that you love. You can find purpose and have an impact. So it isn't about necessarily always slowing down and riding off into the sunset. Again, if that is your goal and you choose to do that, I'm clapping you up and I'm very happy for you because that's what resonates with you. If that doesn't resonate with you, like, and that's why I'm doing this episode because that doesn't resonate with me, then lean into this concept of a life of preferment. I really like the sound of that. And I'm really excited that I've learned this new word. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't Google it. I don't even know if it's in the dictionary. And quite honestly, I don't even care. I'm adopting this word into my vocabulary because I love it. I love, I just love the whole theory of it. And it really resonated. I'm like, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I'm doing. I love doing this life of preferment. And I had to work really hard to get to that point. So you can literally start with nothing and get to a life of preferment. So know that, my friend. All right, well, that's what I got for you today. I want you to ponder that. Think of see if you want to adopt that word into your life, the life of preferment versus the life of retirement. Okay, until next week, you guys have a fabulous week, and I will see you back here on the podcast very soon. Also, by the time you're hearing this, I've already started my April group in the Flourishing Edge Inner Circle. But guess what? It's not too late. You can still come be a part of April. So I will put the link down below in the show notes for you to come be a part of my exclusive membership where I'm in there. Every week, you're going to get coaching, things that you can like really put to work in your life so you can have that next level in your life and business. So come join me. All the details will be down below. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the